We think of our five external senses as human biology's outward-facing hardware. We evolved eyes, ears, and skin specifically to process and react to the physical reality of forms, colors, and sounds around us. Thousands of years ago, the ancient authors of the Upanishads, the Rishis, made a very different claim. They insisted we have a parallel set of five inner senses, and they taught that these only activate when those external biological doors are completely shut down. The texts describe vivid, specific internal events. Practitioners reported seeing a brilliant light inside the heart without any sun, hearing unstruck symphonies playing in absolute silence, and tasting a sweet, cool nectar dropping from the crown of the skull. For centuries, Western scientific institutions dismissed these accounts. Without the tools to look closely at purely internal, subjective states, researchers assumed these texts were just flowery religious metaphors, or even physiological hallucinations. We finally have the equipment to check their work. Modern neurobiology is proving that the Rishis were actually elite internal biologists. They were accurately mapping literal, physiological shifts thousands of years before the scientific method even existed. This paper data chart shows brainwave activity being monitored in a laboratory. When modern scientists attach EEGs to long-term meditators, they see dramatic spikes in gamma brainwave synchrony and highly ordered biophoton emission, literally light emitted by living cells. This is the physiological reality of what the ancients called Jyoti, the inner light. What about the inner music? The ancient texts called it Anahata Nada, the unstruck sound. Biologically, this maps directly to the vagus nerve, the body's central nervous system highway. In deep meditation, chaotic nerve firing shifts into a state of profound, coherent resonance. That physical vagal resonance travels upward into the brain. It triggers mapped frequency patterns right inside the auditory cortex, creating internal auditory sensations that mimic crystalline tones, even when the room is completely silent. Then there is Amrita, the divine nectar. The Upanishads describe a sweet taste descending from the crown of the head as the practitioner reaches deep, non-dual meditation states where the sense of a separate self dissolves. Neuroscientists have identified the chemical correlates of this experience, documenting massive releases of endogenous opioids and oxytocin during these states. This includes anandamide, the bliss molecule, which floods the body as the sense of separation fades. This orchestrated biochemical cascade radically drops inflammatory cytokines, allowing the nervous system to bathe in restorative chemistry. When all these neurological and chemical shifts reach their absolute peak, a mechanical question remains. What physical structure inside us allows a person to actually feel like they have become one with the universe? The answer lies in our connective tissue, the fascia. For a long time, anatomy books treated fascia like inert wrapping paper for muscles. We now know it is a continuous, body-wide, liquid crystal semiconductor. Because it is crystalline, the fascia web generates extremely precise pulses of electricity when compressed or stretched, a process called piezoelectric signaling. During deep meditation, these signals achieve perfect, unbroken coherence across the entire body, literally conducting the inner music through your tissues. As these signals reach maximal coherence, biological entropy reaches its minimum. This state of high order allows trauma-held physical tension, the physical equivalent of the energetic knots described in ancient texts, to simply dissolve. At this stage, the fascia functions less like a protective container and more like a hyperconductive living interface, leaving the practitioner feeling completely transparent to the environment around them. A common trope in Western thought treats the human body as a sort of meat suit, a heavy biological prison that consciousness has to escape from in order to achieve true enlightenment. The data tells a very different story. Both the ancient Upanishadic sages and modern biophysicists arrived at the exact same conclusion. You do not have to leave your physical form to access the universe. The physical body is a highly advanced tensegrity network. It is the literal physical interface where consciousness successfully experiences itself. Try it yourself. Close your outward-facing eyes. Breathe naturally. See if you can mentally trace that humming, luminous network running just beneath your own skin. When you rise, realize that every physical step you take is the universe walking on itself. The ancient rishis never left the body behind. They simply mastered its biology from the inside out.